So tell me about the first time that you remember Dusty and Vince are in the same room. Would that have happened then in Tampa, or would he have been to New York by then?
Well, at that point, for this, you're talking about in the 80s when he came in? That was probably the first time they were together in person was that next morning in Tampa.
At that point, had they already negotiated the terms of a contract like they had?
Yes.
Okay. And Vince at the time is kind of famous for, he's not giving guarantees. It's a rough number. Okay.
So, no, opportunity.
What does that
was
mean,
his only guarantee.
Let me hear the Vince McMahon pitch to a Dusty Rhodes on opportunity when he's coming from headlining in Jim Crockett.
Well, goddamn, pal, you done great in the past. Imagine what you can do with the machine behind you. We've got action figures. We've got magazines. We've got it all. We've got pay-per-view. We've got Madison Square Garden. You know, it was something that he was able to offer them that they didn't have before.
So they just imagined it was a lot more.
Yeah, and it was.
Yeah.
Normally it was. So to be able to give a guy like that the opportunity to come in and draw and make more money than he had previously, because there's more opportunity to make money, more revenue streams with merchandising and everything else. You know, that I think that was what attracted Dusty to it initially.
But it also may be fair to say that, you know, Dusty didn't have a whole lot of leverage. 1989 was not like 1979. At this point, it was one burnt bridge now in Atlanta, you know, not forever, but for a little while. So if he was going to still stay in the business and earn a good living, it was pretty much New York or bust. Is that wrong?
At that point, yeah, Dusty was doing his championship wrestling from Florida promotion that he had there in Tampa, Turnbuckle Wrestling or whatever it was, and running shows in the Tampa area. And that was all he had at the time. So this was a godsend for him. This was a big opportunity that he didn't want to squelch. And, you know, you talk about ribs and everything, and I don't rib. I don't want to be ribbed. But probably the one and only time, maybe not, but I did have a little fun with Dusty when we were shooting things at different points, especially when we got to the butcher shop. And we made him take his shirt off and put the butcher smock on him. And as I'm standing there looking at him after about the third take, and I realized, you know, and the real butcher is standing right there, you know, watching with us. Right. I'm looking at the real butcher, and I'm looking at Dusty. I'm looking at the real butcher. I'm looking at Dusty. And Dusty's smock is pristine white. And I said, you know, he's just not dirty enough. And they have in the back in butcher shops, they would have like meat, and the juice and the blood would congeal and collect in the bottom of these trays and things like that. And so I might have taken a tray of bloody meat blood and dirtied him up a little bit to look like an actual real Americana butcher, if you will. And had a little fun with that, and kind of got it all over his puppies and just all over him to make him look like he'd actually been back there working in a meat counter, baby, cutting some meat and having a little butcher time. But he was, you know, he was game. He did it all, you know, the Americana taco stand and whole 9 yards, man. We had a lot of fun with those.
In my head, he would have been one take Johnny with a lot of that stuff, because he seems like he just has natural charisma. Was that fair to say?
He does, but again, with Dream, he does have natural charisma. And if it were Dream's idea, Dream coming out with it, I think he would have been one take Johnny. But he was trying so hard to become the common man,
right,
that he was forcing it, and it wasn't as natural as everything else that he did. So it took a little while, and once he got comfortable with it, you know, it was Dream. It was easy to do. So we had a lot of fun with that.
So in this first initial meeting now, Vince McMahon is in the room. Dusty's there. Any memorable moments or pieces of conversations or tidbits that you recall from all you guys being together for the first time?
No, you know, Vince and Dusty went and took a walk and had a private conversation one-on-one. And Dusty came back with a great attitude and ready to go to work.
Wow. Okay.
So that was, no, I was not privy to that, and nor was Bobby. We all met at Bobby's house, and Vince said, "Let's have a talk, pal." And they went and took a walk. Walked around the block a couple times, came back, and he was ready to go.